Right, so a lot of you have asked me about this one, and it seems to be a very personal thing on the internet, and everyone's got their own take on it. I don't go super crazy with this, but I want to show you a few little bits and pieces that I carry in my bag. At the minute, I think it's overloaded, but you know what it's like with these things. Someone's going to comment and saying, you should have this, you should have this, you should have this, and now that's not what I use the thing for. So let's get the thing opened up. We'll run through a few things. You've seen the intro. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe button and you'll get more of this content, okay? Right, so let's get this thing opened up. We're going to start from the front. This is a Piper's Southern California. Got this about 7-8 years ago. Back then there wasn't the market for the bags that there is now, so this was high-end kit back then. I'm sure if you're over in America it's not so much, but in the UK this was you know, this was Gucci as. So yeah, it was when they first started doing all the different kind of layers and all the rest of it, and it wasn't just a bag with a side pouch on either side. So this was, you know, good kit then. Now, if I was buying now, I'll probably get a 511 Rush 72 like what Stu's got, because it just seems that bit thicker, bit better quality, nicer kit, and you know I like my 511 kit. So in the front, we've got a Sharpie pen. It's always nice to have a Sharpie pen to hand. The front section here, what we've got is we've got a quick trauma kit. Also got the boo-boo kit, got the scissors in case we need to get access to any clothing quickly, and then we've got the lift key, which if you're in an urban environment you might need to get yourself down a lift shaft, up a lift shaft, something like that. It's never going to happen, but it doesn't hurt to have one. These also open a variety of loft hatches, lockers, basically things you don't want the public opening up on a day-to-day basis. So you can get these from Screwfix or off eBay or any number of places. The other thing that probably wouldn't recommend that you have, this is in my work van usually, and I use this for work to take padlocks off locked fire doors, which is a nice little lockpick set. Okay, that can be very handy if you need to get in somewhere or you were locked in somewhere. That's the front pouch kind of taken care of. There's not much in there. I think the biggest problem people have is they'll have this amount of space and they'll fill this amount of space, and that's why I'm not happy with how much this has got in at the minute, because everything's up to capacity. All your seams are stretching, straining, all the rest of it, and then if you were to pick something up that you've acquired, you've got nowhere to put it. Your bag's full, it's overloaded. So yeah, especially with one that you need to get into quickly, don't like to put that much stuff in it. So that's that section. So yeah, that's pretty much the bits that look after me for your first aid, okay? The next little tiny sleeve of a pouch on a similar kind of thing is we've got ibuprofen, because I'm old and creaky. We've got paracetamol, we've got some tissues, and down here we have got some pits and bits. So this is like a body wash, and then to go with that we've got some hand sanitizer. Yeah, that's it. I did have, what I need to replenish is some of the little tablets that expand and turn into a bit of a cloth, but like I say, I've got these as well, so you can give yourself a bit of a rub round, keep yourself clean if you have to. Bit of an awkward one. It's been slinging it down raining, so I don't want to put everything on the floor, and I don't want to do one of the put a sheet out and put everything on it and all the rest of it, because it goes everywhere, it makes a mess. I just want to do it nice and simple like this. Okay, so your next pouch, this is food. Okay, you want a bit of food in here. So basically what we've got here is the majority of a 24-hour rat pack. So we've got Tabasco sauces, we've got the fruit pastes, we've got the chewing gum, we've got the lifeboat matches here. I mean, these are always really handy to have if you need to get a fire going. We've got the Puree tabs, the whiteners, teas, coffees, sugars, generic brew kit. We've got the isotonic drinks because you might need the energy to walk home or something. A couple of fruit bars. We've got the usual, you know what's in a rat pack, don't you? It's all in here. The only thing extra from the rat pack is a little tiny hip flask, and it is a tiny one, and that's got cooking oil in it. A couple of reasons. One, cooking oil, it burns really, really well. I like the way it's good for fire lighting. You can also cook something in it. You're not going to with what you've got, but it's a very handy thing to have, I think, personally. Got another brew kit in the back that's unopened, waterproof, with brand new Puri tabs, wet and windies, all that stuff in there. That's that pouch, so that's your food. So you've got over 24 hours food there. You've got your med kit, so straight away we're getting somewhere we, you know, to look after ourselves. This pouch here. I've been done. We've got a book with images you should not masturbate to. Nice. Disposable John. These are super handy. Basically, it's like a Mylar type bag that you can open up. You've got a cleaning kit, so you've got wet wipes, tissues, things like that. You do your business into the bag. It all folds down into itself, so there's no mess anywhere. It seals up like the world's worst boiling the bag looking thing, and then you can pack that away with you. So if you can jump in the back of a vehicle or something like that, so say you're stranded on the motorway's been shut for a bad car crash, you sat there 7 hours, jump in the back, square yourself away. That is a real big lifesaver when it comes to comfort. Okay, down in the bottom here, we've got these sections, the Velcro in. I love systems like this, where it's modular. Okay, so at the bottom, my preferred water filter is the Lifesaver one, and eventually I'm going to get the Lifesaver big jerry can to go in the vehicle, but this is a just little El Cheapo one, and what I do is I just keep this one in here. This one's never ever been used. It's still brand new. It's never had any water in it, never had any bad fluids, all that lot. I'm not going to go into water filtration too much because there's a million and one people that say do this, don't do this, do this. Basically, you take it on the chin of you're taking a risk by drinking water that you don't know is clean. You're reducing the risk, but at the same time there's still risk. So if you're in a situation where you need water, you're going to need water. Regardless of that, I've always got plastic bottles of clean drinking water, whether I'm in my van, whether I'm in my Land Rover, whatever I'm doing. So I've already got a couple of litres, and if I was to walk off with this over my shoulder, I'm going to be carrying one of them anyway. This is just to procure water if you had to. Okay? The next section. So this is, in here, 2 different ways to light a fire. So we've got a lighter, we've got a fire steel. Okay, it's from Wessex Blades. Nice, it's lovely one. I think that's G10 with a nice little orange liner in. That usually sits on my knife, but I've got another one in there at the minute. Anyway, by the by. Then we've got, this was gifted to me. This is a lovely gift. So we've got a fire lighting kit. So the Cullen Ranger bands, it's just in a tube that's sliced up. It's I call it a fire multiplier, because once you start to get it going, you then get, you know what plastic and rubber's like when it goes up, you've then got that heat. So yeah, that gets all over everything. Inside here, you've got you've got fat wood shredded up, and you've got wax in there and everything. It's just pure fire in a handful on the floor. So that's that one. We've got a multi-tool. This is a Leatherman OHT one-handed tool. Okay, so you can push that up, use it. All the tools and stuff you can open and close one-handed in theory. It's a bit bulky for a pocket carry, I think. So this one lives in the vehicle, it lives in the bag. That's where it's going. If I'm round camp, I've probably got it in my pocket, but as soon as I'm not doing my camp duties, it's back in again. So that's that one. And I think that's it for that pouch. Again, not overfilling pouches here. What we at for time? It's alright, I've got 15 minutes yet. School run. So yeah, that's cordage, fire lighting, and a multi-tool. The next one, which I think is the most important one, it's not very survivalist, but it's modern day. So in this top pouch is my technology pouch. First thing we come across, we've got comms. Okay, thanks Wing, sorting us out some Bofengs. That's what this is, it's a Bofeng. Got the charger, charging leads, things like that. And then thank you Gareth for programming, because that is beyond me. And before everybody starts with the comments, don't be getting the TV license detector van on me or anything like that. I'm not getting into it. I don't want to hear about it. No one on the internet does. We've got a power pack, because this is the technology pouch. Technology doesn't work without power, so you know, everything tends to be on charge, but if you're away from your vehicle or your house for any prolonged amount of time, we've got the just generic petrol station type charging point with the USBs on it. We've got a torch on it, and we've got a indicator to show how much charge is left on it. Very handy bit of kit. This one, like all my kit you'll have seen, I always start off with the budget option, and then when I get a spare bit of money, I'll buy the better version and never get rid of the budget version. It just goes in a separate bag, so I've got multiples. This is the budget version. Eventually I'm going to get the Ridge Monkey one, which it's a far better product, but again, it's more than the petrol station one. So that'll be a lot bigger battery in it, it'll be shockproof, waterproof, that kind of thing. So you've got the pros and cons of either or, and this is one of them things that you do to your own budget and your own ability, because at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff, the more knowledge and training you've got, the less kit you're going to need. Okay, so there's people that can leave the house with, you know, a packet of fags and a Rambo knife, and they're quite happy. I carry a bit of kit. Budget wise, you know, you got this water filter. It's the budget one. I've got the Lifesaver one, and there's better ones again, but this one fits the pouch. It's nice and cheap. It's never been used. It's good to go. So it's what goes for your budget. Little USB. Okay, this is quite important in this day and age. So we live in a digital age where you might need to take some information, or people might need your information. Say you lose your passport, pictures of it on here. You lose your driving license, pictures of it on here. Next of kin, medical details, anything like that. Someone opens your kit up and finds one of these. I've got one on my car keys as well, with all the same information on. It's just a lot of information in a very, very small thing, and back in its little package, fairly waterproof. Okay, so we've got some charging leads, we've got a charger, because you can usually find a power socket wherever you are, unless you're in the woods or something like that. Then you're going to have to either get solar or just go without. Can't have everything. A little way of procuring, so that's items that use the electric, a way of storing the electric, and ways of procuring the electric. So that's from mains. And if you needed to, off of a car battery, off of any other battery, you can charge from this. Okay, so to use most items like a phone, it's around about 5 volts, something like that. To get it from 12 volts down to 5 volts, and not just 12 volts, it'll go up to say 24 volts or thereabouts. You could probably even push it a little bit higher, like off of a phone line. You'd use something like this. This then takes the energy down to the right amount and gives it out of here. Okay, so if you found a stranded car and you got a bit of cable out of it, like speaker cable or something, attached to the battery, attached to that, you could charge your stuff up. Doubt it's ever going to happen, but we're on the subject. I doubt my car's going to break down, but I've got RAC cover. I doubt I'm going to get a flat tyre, but I've got a spare wheel. It's that kind of mentality. Okay, we've got some glow sticks in here, not because it's the glow stick pouch, it's at the top of the bag, and it's the first pouch you come across. Okay, so we've got charging leads for the phone, which, let's face it, the phone's probably your most valuable tool, versatile tool that you've got. It's a mini computer, it's got all the information of the world at your fingertips, it's got a torch on it. It's, you know, that you've got to keep that going if you can. So more leads, awesome little charging lead. This is for the Olight. This is the new one that's just come out. It's not actually out yet. Tuesday this comes out, and they're doing a release offer, whatever thing on it. So if you buy that on Tuesday, it's 30% off. If you get it with the little mount that hooks on, which would be awesome in the back of there, it's 40% off. So these are really expensive high-end torches. Like you've seen, I've got the cheap 10 quid eBay torches, which they chuck a lot of light out and they do everything you need them to do when it comes to lighting, but you pay the more money, you get the more features. So you've got the magnetic charging thing. I like this because I'm more vehicle based. I've got a different one that I keep in the vehicle. This is my bag one. So this hook for my other one plugs into the dashboard, and that hooks onto a little bit that I've got on my dashboard. So when I need this, I grab it, just unhooks. When I go back in the vehicle, back on again. Nice and easy. It's got 5 different brightnesses that you can turn on and off. You've got a power indicator, and yeah, it's rechargeable, which is the biggest thing for me, because it's with these torches, they're just sat there 99.9% of the time. You're not doing anything with it. It's just that one time you need it, you really need it, don't you? So yeah, awesome. So that's the torch. The link, before I get asked, I'll put some links to a few of these products down below in the description. I've got a specific one for that one. Anybody that's wanting to buy anything off of Amazon as well, if you use, even if it's not the item you want, if you use the links down below, it costs you no extra to use them, and I might get like 2% off of the sale that goes into the pot to buy the cameras, to do the channel and all the rest of it. As well as that, there is an Olight link down below, because they did send me this out, so there you go. You're aware that there's an offer on it now, and you've got a link to get to it. So if you want the high-end torch, that's that one. And that's about it. Yeah, I've got a little mount for it. That's for a different one, but I like to keep it in there, because you never know, you might want to put the torch on that and mount it to something else. Or I haven't got head torches. I need to get a head torch. I've never been into them, but what you can do with these, they've got the double facing clip, and what I tend to do, because I know someone's going to say, why don't you just get a head torch? You've got that there, or you can put it there like that. It's a little bit heavy, but it does its thing. So that's the technology pouch, which I don't think, because there's going to be people saying, oh well, you should have this, and you should have this, and you should have this. But the problem you get is, if you listen to all these should haves, you're going to be carrying a burgeon round, right? You get to the point where you're carrying a burgeon round, you're not going to put it in your car, you're not going to put it in all these places where you know it's going to be handy. This is, I think this is too big, and this is at the point now where it's still the right size that you can put it in the back of your van, the back of your car, in your Land Rover on the spare seat. You know, it's just there as a grab bag, isn't it? Right, then the big pouch. Undo these buckles. Viz vest. Car breaks down on the motorway, you're going to want to be visible, right? The other thing with the Viz vest, it's urban camouflage. People think, oh no, you're wearing this big bright vest. Right, have you ever looked twice at a builder or a tradesman or anything like that walking through a town centre with a bacon butty? No, this is urban camouflage. The places you can get in with a Viz vest, a bag, and some like tools or a ladder or something, it's unreal. And the same thing, I carry a roll of bags. You never know when you're going to need to bag something, keep something dry, keep it out of the way. Tyre wraps, a million use for tyre wraps. Inside here, right, so now we're coming to cooking. And there's a lot of people saying, oh, you want a single skin metal container that you can boil water in, blah, 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 blah. Right, we're just going home, or we're just waiting out like on the motorway or something like that. We've got the Jetboil. Okay, it's efficient, it's your cup, it uses very little gas. There's enough gas in here to do 3 or 4 camps, never mind just walk home from wherever you're stranded from, or sit in the van for 5 hours on the motorway because it's shut. Okay, so that's your cooking, that's your cooker and your drinking vessel and your cooking, it's everything in there. Your next bit, keeping warm, Snug pack blanket. Okay, that works awesome if you've got a sleeping bag as a supplement, but if you had to sleep in your car, or just something that warms you up a bit more than what you're wearing on your back. Just got random bits of rubber down there to burn. We've got some insulation tape, 1,000,001 uses, and in the bottom here we've got a 58 poncho. If you hadn't got your waterproof jacket on, this is a waterproof jacket with a hood. It's also shelter. You can set it up like a bit of a bivvy. You can collect water in it and have it coming out the hood. It's endless. Use your own imagination and your own training. There's a few items in here that you wouldn't carry in an urban environment, but then there's a few items that I would put in, like if I'm doing city centre and crowded environments. Inside the laptop pouch here, I put a level 4 plate, just because there's a lot of nutters in the world. I know it's a lot of weight to carry around, but then again, I find AK rounds I'm allergic to them. I come out in a rash, and there's plenty of these nutters about. And I know we live in the UK, but it doesn't stop these nutters from getting in and about. So that's about where we're at with this. There's, like I say, I think this is bordering on the too much. But I'm watching some of these videos on what some people carry, and it's just a joke. They're treating it like you're going to bug out, you're never going to come back, and that's the stuff that you're carrying. Fine. But for something that's going to live in your vehicle, that you could say, right, okay, there's been mass flooding or something, the vehicle's trapped, I'm not going to get it out, stick that on your bag, on your back, you can walk off somewhere, you can do what you need to do, and you know, you can either walk home or you can just take shelter until you can get transport home. That's mainly what this is for, because you know, it's not some zombie apocalypse thing, I don't think, it's just a reality thing. I've been sat in my van for several hours on a closed motorway, and it's not fun when you've got no food, no water, no way of getting something warm in you, and you're getting low on fuel, and you don't want to be running the engine non-stop in winter. But that's the world I live in, so that's what I've built the bag for. A few people wanted to see it, so I hope this was of use for you. If it was, give us a comment. If you've got something productive to put on there, give us a share, a like, all that stuff. And if you haven't already subscribed, give us a subscribe. Okay, thanks. Oh, before I go as well, just one massive thanks to the Patreons this month, because the computer's gone down, and without your help, the channel would have gone way out there. And because of the Patreons, I've managed to, it's took the sting off of buying a new MacBook, and it makes all the difference when you've got the choice of what you need and what you can afford, and that made the difference. So a big thank you to the Patreons, and I hope everybody appreciates what they do, because they're going the next level. Thanks.